Hey everybody, it's Wes here from Fundamental Games, and just really excited to be able to come to you with this latest update that brings us to over 100% of the funding goal. So congratulations and thank you very much. Whether you donated or pledged $2 or $125 or even more if you wanted some add-ons above and beyond that Legends of Novus package, I really just want to thank you for helping us get to that funding goal. We're actually over $16,000 right now, USD. And getting close to some of those stretch goals. The first stretch goal is at 17,500 to turn those cards for the quest creatures into tiles, and then it just gets better beyond that. So we can just keep making this game even better for you. So really thankful for where we've gotten today. And I apologize I didn't give this update yesterday. I was on a family trip and I thought it was important to spend that time with the family out in the mountains there. But now we're definitely back at it, and I want to do everything I can to support it and keep on growing this campaign. Second off, I wanted to kind of go back and talk about the comments a bit. So some of our backers have been really vocal and helpful and really helping us drive our engagement on the Kick Track. And Kick Track is one of the major ways that people notice your campaign and drive traffic to it. So really want to give a big thank you to Lee and to Tim, who have really, or sorry, not Tim, to Lee and to Ian, who have really helped drive that engagement with Kick Track and Board Game Geek and through many of the different channels that we have. So really big thank you to them. We're going to tone it down a little bit in the comments there and really try to focus more on what the game's about and what the lore is about. So what I would encourage you is, if you're watching this, feel free to ask questions if you have any about the game, or if you want to learn more about the lore, or have any contributions you have. Or sometimes we'll just throw out questions there about what's your favorite class or what's your favorite creature. And being involved in those discussions, it just helps create some chatter, some interest in not only the game, but it also creates more awareness in Kickstarter that we're a campaign that's active. And that can help us increase our awareness on their rankings, and people can find the campaign easier, and that can make the game better if more people find us and fund and pledge for it. So that's why we encourage it so much. That's why we're pushing the Kick Track so much, because that helps it both ways. But if we get the comments going that are more organic and natural and fun, that can be more engaging for people that are just discovering Novus for the first time and see, wow, this looks like a fun campaign. The people are enjoying it. So by all means, if you have anything you want to discuss in the comments, bring it up. I'm always looking at them, and I know other people are as well. So just wanted to share that with you and make sure you're aware of why we were doing that. Third one is we have a new interview coming up soon. It's through the Board Game Design Labs. A gentleman by the name of Gabe Barrett leads a wonderful Facebook group and delivers a podcast each and every week, interviewing game designers and publishers and all kinds of different people in the field. And so I was honored to be interviewed by him, and the discussion was about fantasy-themed games and how do you create fantasy worlds, and what kind of things are needed, and what kind of things do you think about when you're building a fantasy world. And given that I've spent my entire life reading about and playing and understanding fantasy games, it was really fun to be able to talk to about it with Gabe on his podcast. So that should be airing anytime now. Could be this week, could be early next week, but as soon as it airs, I'll make sure I post the link in the comments and put it in the next update. So that'll be coming up soon. I also have a local newspaper interview, and that'll be coming. I'm getting interviewed tomorrow, and it'll air in the Friday newspaper. So this is just for my local community, for Olds, Alberta, and we're only of a town of about 5,000 people. But the cool thing is, if people locally hear about something that an entrepreneur is doing, or somebody's trying to do to create interest outside of the realm of the community you're in, sometimes that can generate extra support that you weren't even expecting. So really looking forward to having that interview with the local newspaper, sharing with them the hobby board game industry that they might not have any idea of, and teaching them a little bit about Kickstarter at the same time. So that interview will take place tomorrow morning, and will air, or not air, but be in either in the paper or digitally on Friday. I'll share more with you when the real copy of that gets out. Next one is about the Vorpal board gameplay. So you may not have heard of Vorpal board. I mentioned it in a prior update, but if you take a look at their website, I'll include that in the link here. But Vorpal board is a digital way to play board games as long as one player has the Vorpal board application and camera system, and an actual board game. They can play it with somebody across the country or in a whole other country. And it's going to be interesting to learn how this works with James. He's already got a copy of the game, and I'm going to throw in a couple of pictures inside the update here just to show you his snapshots of the game, and he made it look really fantastic, which is great because seeing these camera angles from Dice Tower and from Tantrum and now from Vorpal Board, it's really good to see these perspectives because the game does look beautiful when it's on the table. And so you're going to see that in Vorpal Board when we play it live through that kind of digital interface that he's created. So that will be taking place on Friday, so still plenty of time for people new to the game to discover it that way. Next is the French review. So I mentioned this on a prior podcast as well, but it should be coming soon. He should have the board game in his hands early this week, and as soon as that link becomes available, I'll share it with you. But that's just, again, another way to reach out to a different community that might not have been impacted by the Kickstarter to begin with, but once they get some visibility in their own language, or in their own primary language, if English is a secondary language, then they may grow to embrace Legends of Novus and join us in our campaign. And then the next method I'm going to use to try to reach out to different people that I haven't already interacted with, because I've tried on Facebook, and I've tried on Instagram, and I've tried on Twitter, and attempted on Reddit, and those are all great avenues. But the next step I'm going to take is through what's called kind of a direct email method. So I'm going to draft an email that'll talk all about Novus and how it relates to being a new fantasy board game kind of style, as well as how it relates to Dungeons and Dragons. And I'll just start direct emailing kind of some of the group leaders that are out there. So whether they're a Facebook group leader, or they're a tabletop game group leader, or maybe they run a board game store. And sometimes you can reach people through ways other than social media, because sometimes you just get blocked or shut down or ignored from those sites. So a direct email, just anybody that provides their email on a website or YouTube page or something like that, just shooting them an email about the game, showing some pictures, giving them a link, probably to the Dice Tower link, I think would be the coolest one, as well as the Kickstarter itself. That could interest some additional backers as well. So in this update, I just wanted to share with you a big thank you for getting us to where we're at, because it's no small feat for somebody who's only published a small game to be able to raise $16,000 US, and you guys made that happen, so big thank you for that. I wanted to share with you what to do in the comments, how we can stay active and alive, and I wanted to share with you what I plan to do to keep on keeping awareness, because we still have another 10 days left, and I want to make sure that we get as much interest and excitement in Legends of Novus as we can, because this is just the beginning. If we get this board game made, and it seems like we're on the right track to do that, unless 20 people cancel at the same time, we're definitely on track to create this thing. But where can it go from here with the expandable board game that it can become, and more characters that we can unlock through stretch goals? So that's why I want to keep on generating that interest over these next 10 days. So hopefully you liked what you've seen so far in the campaign, and by all means shoot me a message, send it in the comments, send it in a message to me, put it on Facebook, whatever you want to do. I'm very open to feedback, and I've gotten plenty of feedback about how to restructure the visibility of the campaign now that we are funded. So thank you very much to those that have mentioned that. All right, I'm going to sign off for tonight, but again, thank you very much, and I look forward to giving you the next update in a couple of days. Who knows, maybe we'll be at 150% backed and be able to share that occasion, and I'll also be able to share with you how some of these upcoming interviews went. Okay, take care.